Boomer Sooner.
Runs it himself, right up the middle, has a whole 45-40. Watch out, he's in the clear. 30, tripped up at the 25-yard line, or he would have gone the whole way. Deep shot fluttering around the 15-yard line. It's caught, wrapped up, stopped. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Sooner magic still works in the SEC.
Welcome to the Air Comfort Solutions OU Huddle, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by the Trails Golf Club, where members become family. Now, the Air Comfort Solutions OU Huddle.
All right, welcome inside the Huddle. We are live tonight, as we are every Monday night, from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Coming up in our next half hour, Nick Kroll, head men's tennis coach, is going to join us. But as you can tell, I'm joined by not only OU women's tennis coach Audra Cohen. Welcome back, Coach. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Well, I'm glad you're back. You know, we had to have a fill-in for you last time. Was everything okay?
I know. But she did a good job, right?
We crushed
it.
She
crushed
was really
it.
crushed
Yeah.
it. It was a great 30-minute, a great hour almost, it felt like we spent. And it's a return trip for Julia Garcia Louise, who joins us. What's up, Julia? How are you? Welcome
Good,
back.
how are you?
Feel
Thank
like
you.
you're a seasoned vet now. You want to take over and just run this whole thing?
Yeah,
No?
I can do it.
I know you can. Hey, congratulations on the season so far. I'll start with you, Julia. Just, boy, take me through this run this team has been on. 11 straight wins right now. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels great. At the beginning, whenever we start with SEC conference, regular season, we didn't start really great. We were focused a lot, I think, on the results, but now I think we're more relaxed and just focused to enjoy tennis and enjoy as a team and focus more in the process and enjoy this season. And I think that's why we're having such a great time out there and the 11 straight wins. Yeah.
It's great to see good attitude. Coach, what have you seen? By the way, congratulations on this streak right now. I know by no means a mission accomplished feel, but this is one heck of a run the squad's on right now.
Yeah, I mean, taking down top teams in the country to get there, it's not just like we played the weakest part of the 11 teams in the conference. You know, I think playing number one teams in the country and like just recently playing Vandy at Vandy and coming out with the W. And I think, as Julia said, we just have been way more focused on the process and less caught up in the results and wanting to win every point so badly that we pressurize ourselves so much. So we're just more locked in on how do we want to play, are we getting better, and sticking to that. And results will happen on their own when you do that.
Yeah, you were mentioning it's not like you got the break on the schedule. You've had 4 wins against top 12 teams, including number 1 Georgia back on March 29th. The schedule makers didn't do us any favors, but Coach Cohen, it's got to be pretty impressive to see how they've stepped up to that next level.
Yeah, I think the teams that are continuously getting better throughout the whole season are the teams that are going to be prepared to play the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. And I think that's the thing I'm the most proud of with this group is that we didn't play our best matches in January, and we're just getting better each match that we play. And that's what you want to see as a coach, right? But it's very hard to do because it's such a physical and mentally exhausting season. So to see them continuously getting better and locked into that process is really special, and I'm really proud of them.
Hey, Julia, she talked about the grind, the physicality. You had, the fall in the singles, and now when you get into the team competition, what has it been like for you just making sure you're as physically and mentally ready for the rest of the season whenever, as you mentioned, it didn't start the way you wanted, but now to see the way you guys are playing and performing out there, I mean, how big of a key, how are you feeling right now mentally and physically and trying to maintain for the stretch run?
I think right now, mental and physical, I feel like great. I'm taking like the day off, really as day off, but also getting a lot of momentum with my team outside of the court. We're spending a lot of time together. I think that's really helping, and that's the difference a lot in this team from the other teams. We're really united, and we took a lot of emphasis on that.
Coach Cohen, she mentioned something that I think that a lot of people take for granted, and that's rest and getting off your feet and being able to properly take care of your body the rest of the way. How have you seen, I mean, I'm not just going to say resting, but how have you seen that recovery process improve over the last 10 to 15 years? Because it's really feel like across sports it's been taken a lot more seriously.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest way. It's being taken a lot more seriously. And I think, we play every team in the SEC. So if you don't prioritize rest, then you're not going to make it through the gauntlet alive. You'll be dead by the end. And so I'm proud of this group because, they've done a good job of recovery, get massages on our day off. And like, for example, this week we have Sunday and Monday off, so 2 days off. And then we play a Thursday match. So at this point, there's not a ton to practice. It's more of just making sure you maintain good energy and practicing super specific things to bring into the next match.
Okay. Are you seeing your team, your student athletes, rest better? Are they taking it more seriously? Do they understand it? Is it hard, maybe, for them to turn it off?
I think they rest better. I think they prioritize rest, and I think, I think the main thing is making sure that when they do finally have time to rest, they're not like procrastinating, other things so that they get behind on school or things like that, So I think they do know how important rest is. I think the main thing is just fitting it in the schedule when you're in this kind of gauntlet.
Yeah, Julio, with that in mind, for you, that balance is always tough. What has that been like for you between taking care of your body, school, or competing? How is that balance for you, and how big of a challenge is it?
I mean, now as a senior, I think I have more balance on that. But on the last 3 years, I have learned a lot when I have to take time for me and when I have to spend it more for my tennis career. But at the same time, also with the school, it's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. But it's just managing my time for myself, I think. And school-wise, I think I have a lot of support on the athletic part. Yeah.
Coach, take me through how you found Julia and how you brought her here to Oklahoma and watching her really develop over her career.
Maybe she should take you through that. Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's go, Julia. Take me through how you found Norman.
She ghosted us for a little bit of it, Like we were all set recruiting Julia. My assistant was going to do a home visit, and then Julia went absent for just a moment, and then I think that's normal in this sport. So it's as we spoke about last time I was up here. I mean, a lot of times they want to be professional tennis players, and when you want to be a pro tennis player, you don't see the value of college tennis as much. Especially if you're international. And I think Julia was around the right people who really guided her to understand how much better she could get in college. And this is a product of her work. She's worked incredibly hard to achieve such a high level and have a career ahead of her on the tour.
You ghosted her, huh? No texts, no calls. But as Coach said, it is sometimes you feel like the pro prospects are out there. But what was that process like choosing Oklahoma?
I mean, I knew whenever I was like already on the process, like, okay, I'm gonna go to college. I knew that I'm gonna come here. But I ghosted them like for 2 years.
And in her defense, there are reasons for that.
Oh, okay,
there are people who are maybe there's a battle of people investing in you, and you don't want them to think you're going to college. So like, there's a backstory in every story here. But but what she said is true. Yes,
that's commitment. What did you see in her that said, I want to, in you and your staff, we got to get her here. She can really be a difference maker. What stood out?
I actually went to a tournament in Cancun, Mexico, and I was recruiting a different player at the time because I thought Julia wasn't going to go to college. So I went to go visit and see a different player play, and I disliked that player, and I really liked Julia. I was like, she's going to be so good. And so that's how it started, and then we start hunting more to try to get her here, right? But the goal is, as she said, like when she decided and was comfortable with the idea of going to college, we want Oklahoma to be the choice. And that's a lot of our recruiting is like when you decide your college is your direction that you're going to take your career, like we want to be your first thought.
Coach said you had time to work on super specific stuff, to really drill down. Julio, you've been in college for a minute. You've been coached by Audra and Corbin, the staff, for a minute now. When you really dial in and you get super specific, what is it that you want to work on? What do you try to fine-tune with your game?
I want to find like the best, like my weapon. Aldra can tell you that my forehand is my weapon, and I'm lefty. So whenever I like this time of the year, the last weeks of the season, I just want to work on what is my weapon and stay like mentally focused so I can bring all together in a match day. Yeah.
How great is it to have so many different cultures, personalities, nationalities in that locker room?
Awesome. And different forehands,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, this one's got the bazooka in the house. Like, though she might be little, she's got the bazooka in the room. So
Nice.
I think that's what she's talking about. And when she's buying into that, it's just unstoppable.
Uli, before we let you go, can you tell me a little bit about your family and what they've meant to you and really becoming a successful collegiate tennis player and getting you to this level?
I mean, my family means a lot for me. My mom has been doing a lot for me since I started playing tennis, like traveling around the world, traveling in Mexico, finding solutions so I can keep playing this sport. So I think she means all for me. Also, my brother, she also had to sacrifice a lot in school, friends, and yeah.
Great return trip to the show. You crushed it. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Julia Garcia-Ruiz, stick around. More with Audra Cohen talking women's tennis next. Sooner Sports Talk. By the way, this segment is brought to you. Sorry, Drake, I did not read the actual copy, so you can't clap yet. This segment is brought to you by Community Coffee, family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference family makes. Now we can go to break. Stick around.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola. The Huddle is brought to you by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save up to 25% today. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties. Fan-fueled, athlete-focused.
Welcome back to the Huddle at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. As always, we're brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Audra Cohen hanging with us for another segment. Welcome Evie Laskovich to the stage. What's up, Evie? How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm outstanding. I'm pumped that you're here. Are you excited to be here or no?
Of course. First time.
I got a smile.
Yes,
Audra, does that
there you
count?
go.
There we go.
There you go.
Audra, tell me a little bit about Evie's game and what stands out about what she's brought to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think she's brought a lot of confidence is first, but I think she's earned that confidence throughout her year here so far. But I think most important is that she has no holes in her game. She's complete. Like great forehand, great backhand, great balance, great footwork, great serve, great volleys. Like everything is really complete from a technical standpoint. And I think part of Evie's evolution here has been really believing in her style and how to play and how to put it all together and how to become a champion with it. Because you've got tools, you've got size, you've got it all, but you got to put it together and you got to be confident with what you put together.
It's got to be pretty cool to hear from your coach, right?
Wow.
Take me through your personal development in the game. What kind of have you felt whenever it comes to you improving and getting better as a player?
I mean, I would say Unreal, thank you so much to our coaches because I'm grown so much as a tennis player and as a person here. And yeah, honestly, I'm also surprised how far I could go and as Audra telling me you should be curious, so I am. So yeah.
But that's good. That's good. You've surprised yourself by how far you've gone, but that kind of means there's no ceiling, right? So
Yeah.
for you personally, when you push past things that you're like, wow, I didn't realize I could do this or that, that's got to be a pretty good feeling, right?
Yes.
I think the nod is an agreement. Coach, would you take me through a little bit more on just that personality, right? You mentioned someone who is kind of stoic, but she's set, and in that same way, it's a great leader. When you have people like Evie on your team, it really can kind of bring up the overall morale, bring up the leadership that
Right.
you need. Her personality can be pretty contagious, right?
Right, for sure. I think it's subtle, obviously. I mean, you get to know her here now, but I think, she gets along with everybody on the team, connects well with everybody, and has a lot of respect for everybody on the team. And I think that combined with also more respect for herself. I think respect for her ability, and like she said, the biggest thing is be curious. Like, how good can you get if you put all of your effort into it? How good can you get? And I think that curiosity and kind of dealing with a lot of those fears of maybe not being good enough and accepting that, okay, maybe you aren't good enough. Who cares? Just go for it. Try. Like, the worst kind of regret is the regret of not trying. And I think she's learned that, and I think throughout this year of getting to know Evie, like, part of that has been also kind of just seeing her team support her. She's never been in a team environment like this where the team is on board with that effort too. Like, the team is starting to see her evolution, and they're like, all right, let's go. This is fun. Like, they're rooting her on too. There's no like jealousy of it. And I think that's a special thing about this group. I think sometimes on women's programs, when you see a new player come in and experience success, it can be kind of daunting on the rest, and it's not in this case.
What is that challenge like for such an individual sport, tennis being such an individual sport, when you're in that team mentality? What's that challenge been like for you? If anything at all, has it been better?
I mean, we have a great team. Everyone supports you, and honestly, I'm surprised how fun it could be, because we spend time together. Honestly, I love our team. Like, girls, they always support me no matter what. That's why I think we're also playing good this season, because everyone is pushing you and supports you a lot, and you believe in yourself and your team.
Evie, what got you into tennis? What made you decide, all right, I'm going to get out and I'm going to try to play this sport?
I didn't my parents put me to tennis when I was 3 years old.
Wait, when you were 3?
Yeah, so it's not my decision.
So then there has to be, your parents say you're going to play this, right? There has to be a point where you're like, pretty good at this. I'm enjoying this. Was there a moment for you where you realized I could play collegiately? There might be a shot professionally. When did you realize, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
Honestly, I was kind of good from a young age, from, 12. I was in a national team of Belarus. So, but honestly, at first, I didn't really like tennis when I was young. So my parents kind of pushed me to go to practice. But after that, I started to enjoying it, and yeah, it's fun.
That's pretty cool. You had a situation, Coach, where maybe she was kind of pushed into it, but to develop the love, what a cool story that is. How did you find her out of Belarus?
Actually, she's pretty close with Alina Sherbinina, who was on our team before, and that's initially how we connected. And I think, Evie probably had options to go to many different places, and I think we challenged her even in the recruiting process of how good do you want to be? Do you want to sit on the beach and hang out, or do you want to be great? And I think she's proving that philosophy of high challenge makes champions. And sometimes that challenge is a lot, but at the same time, that's what I would have wanted as a player, to be able to make a career of it, and I have a lot of respect for people who are willing to put that work in.
Evie, take me through away from tennis. What do you like to do in your free time? Are you a book reader? Obviously studying takes a lot of it, but what does Evie like away from tennis?
Honestly, I don't really have time. But when I do have time, I like to walk, I like to cook, spend time with my friends, go to a nice place to eat, I enjoy it.
You said you cook. Do you have a go-to dish that you make?
I'm pretty good at pastry.
Oh, okay. All right. So desserts.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, come on, sign up for that.
I haven't seen any of that,
Yeah.
by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Maybe you should make some.
I should.
The mix, or the run that you guys are in right now, 11 straight wins for this program, this team, and where you are right now. I talked with Audra about it last segment. I want to ask you, what have you seen really click with this team that's helped you guys get on this run and find another level?
I feel what helped us, especially me, that we don't have limits. So coaches pushing us so much, and I really appreciate them for doing it, because sometimes you can put limit or something on yourself, and I mean, we have a great team, so I think we're just like doing the right things.
It's good to hear. By the way, this segment is presented by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save up to 25% today. Coach, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, fan-focused, fan-fueled, athlete-focused. All right, we got Texas A&M coming up this Thursday, and then Texas on Saturday. Great opportunity to get out and support this team. And they got the SEC championships that are here right around the corner. A lot of time at home. That's nice.
A lot of time at home. Yeah, and I think free. All of it is free. I always say that. I mean, I think the SEC championship, there might be an entry fee, but definitely these two conference matches to finish out the regular season are free.
What is the challenge? Well, first of all, let's talk about the upcoming teams. A&M and Texas coming in. What kind of challenge? Let's start with A&M because that's Thursday. What do they present for you?
They're a hot team right now. You know, I think they've been really successful. They're getting better as the season goes on. I think they have got a lot of mojo coming in. They just beat Auburn, which was the top team in the conference at the moment, and I think they're pretty confident, especially against Oklahoma. But I'm not sure that they've seen Oklahoma now.
Nice.
And that's what we want to show them. I mean, we played them at National Indoors, and we were not nearly the program that we are right now. So I would say our job is to show them how far we've come, you know, and they've come a far way as well. But I think also believing in ourselves is a really big part of this team, is believing that they don't have a limit, and that, you know, being curious about how good can we get, how good can we be if we push ourselves to do it. And I think not accepting that you can't at any point in any match. And so the I can mentality is big.
And the we need you out there to be loud and crazy, because it's a little different atmosphere. Everyone thinks of tennis as quiet, but there's some energy in that stadium.
And we need some redemption. I mean, we played at Texas A&M last year, and they gave us hell. So like, I think we need some redemption. They had their men's team out there. They got kicked out of the facility, and then they went behind, and we're in a truck in the back, still yelling at us. So like, we've got to have some serious redemption against A&M in particular, but also against Texas. I mean, what a great rivalry we've had. We played them from the finals of national NCAAs in 2022. We've played them so many times, and you know, I think it's always a great battle against them too.
Great stuff as always. Awesome job. I think you crushed it in your debut. Coach, good to see you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Get out there, support women's tennis this week, and we'll talk with Nick Kroll next inside the Huddle. Stick around.
The Huddle is brought to you by Riverwind Casino. It's always a good time. OU Fan Shop. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. Sooner Kids Club. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Devon Energy.
Welcome back inside the Huddle. How about that celebration, Coach Nick Kroll? Welcome, man. It's good to see you, brother. How you been?
That was a fun day right there. That was a fun day.
The emotions, this team right now, really playing well. You know, Audra's up here, and they won 11 straight. You guys right across the hall, you won 6 in a row right now. 10 of your wins this year are over nationally ranked teams. What is it, 6 in the top 20? Thus his life in this conference. But how about a moment like that?
Yeah, you know, our guys have been working so hard, and these moments, you know, they come and they go, and so you got to be ready for them when they come. And I think our guys have done a good job here, especially in these last 6 matches. We've had 3 or 4 of those moments, and you know, they start to get a little bit contagious, and you want to feel that every single time you go out. So I'm proud of our guys, and it was a great win over Mississippi State. They were 6th in the country coming in here, one of the hottest teams, I think 18-3 on the year, and top of the league. And so, yeah, it was a great win, and we're just looking to build on it.
You, man, you got some really elite players right now, but you play an elite schedule. So, you know, it's interesting. We got into the conversation about rest a lot. Is that more of a challenge? Well, it's a bigger deal now. People understand recovery more. But what's the challenge like to say, guys, get off your feet. You need to rest. We gotta go through our recovery protocol.
Yeah, we're calling it elite recovery.
I like it.
We're talking about it all the time, and to win an SEC championship and national championship, we got to have our guys fast and fresh. That's what we talk about all the time. We got to be fast and fresh, but we also got to be ready. And so when we're on the court practicing, we're taking care of the job that we need to do that day. We're very systematic in what we're doing at practices right now. But then we've got some new sports science stuff that we're using, Catapult. We've got a guy that's helping us with that and reading all the numbers from practice. And, he's given us a lot of data that's over the last couple years that we've really started to use and to keep our guys really, really fresh. We've been able to back off practice when we need to and then push when we need to.
I think it's one of the areas where you've seen the most advancement, right?
Mm-hmm.
The most technological moves in sports, and that is understanding recovery. How do you go about deciding, all right, I'm putting a lot into this data, or I'm maybe not as much in this, because it can be paralysis by analysis with all the numbers you get, right?
Yeah, that's right. We talk to our guys a lot too. We talk to how they're feeling, and then we kind of compare that a little bit to the numbers. We've done a really good job. They're able to play with those Catapult systems on during the matches, and so we're able to see what the volume and the load is for all the matches. And then, we call them work days. And so when we have a work day at practice, we're going to try to push that volume and the load similar to a match. And then there's going to be days that we're going to try to peak, and then we're going to back off quite a bit.
You need to be elite this time of year because the SEC has been that and then some when it comes to the conference road. Schedule makers didn't do you a lot of favors this year, but Nick, we don't get a chance to talk a ton here on the Huddle. Just the challenge of this conference has been another level, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely. I think last week there was maybe 11 teams in the top 20 in our league out of 14 or 15 teams. So I think every school has a tennis team except for Missouri on the men's side. And so out of those 15 schools, 11 in the top 20. Every day you go out, you're going to play one of the best teams. And so it just becomes about preparation and recovery, like you said, and really getting our guys ready to play those matches. And then, being on the road, I think, is one of the big challenges as well. It's not easy to get to some of the schools in the SEC, but I think we learned a lot from last year to this year. And so we've kind of streamlined our travel, made it a little bit more systematic in what we're trying to do and keep everything consistent. So the way we travel, the way we practice when we're on the road, just keeping it the same every time.
That's a really good point, because the road trips are farther. When you decide to bus, when you fly in, like for instance, you probably have to fly into Memphis to go to Ole Miss and bus. It's just every little thing, right?
We played in Athens, Georgia last weekend, and we took a flight to Atlanta. Then we chartered a bus from Atlanta to Athens, and then we used the bus from Athens then we had to drive to Gainesville, which was about 6.5 hours. And then you get there Saturday at 4, practice an hour and a half, and then you get up the next morning and you play, and then you catch a flight from Gainesville back. And so you feel like you're on, it's that movie, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. So,
hey, at least you don't have to worry about someone selling you shower rings like John Candy's character did. Arkansas, and we're going to look at the tournament, or the schedule ahead in just a bit, but Arkansas, A&M, and then the SEC tournament.
Yes, sir.
It's still wild to think you only have 2 matches in the regular season and then an SEC tournament. I bring it up because that senior day was a pretty special one this past weekend.
Yeah, last weekend for that Mississippi State match, we only had 1 match on the weekend. It was one of our only weekends where we only have 1, so we were really able to gear up for that one. And I know it was a special day for Bruno and Luis. We were able to celebrate those guys after the match, and after a top 10 win was even more special. New AD was out there, Roger Denny, Dr. Garn, our sport oversight. It was a special moment. There was some real emotion on the court, and you could really see how much these guys cared about the team and the program and Oklahoma and everything.
Hey, congrats on getting a win with the new boss there. That's great. But so far, with that in mind, I've been really impressed with Roger Denny in every moment I've had with him. I think he's going to be a great leader for this athletic department. What's kind of been your early thoughts?
Yeah, same thing. Total professionalism coming in here. I know he's super busy at the moment trying to, hit the ground running. And so, he and I have had a few interactions. He was out in the quad marketing a tennis match for us 3 or 4 weeks ago. I thought that was really special. And to be at senior day and honor those seniors was really cool.
Well, let's talk about your seniors. Luis Alvarez, and what he's meant to this program, and he's really playing great tennis now too.
Luis came in January 3.5 years ago, and now he's a senior. It flew by. When he was a freshman, when he first came in, he wasn't even in the lineup.
Wow.
And he's really just outworked everybody in the country. I mean, he's one of the hardest workers in the country, has great character. And now he's gone from playing 7 to 6, and then his sophomore year he was playing 4, and then last year he was playing 2, 3, and then this year he's been playing number 1 the majority of the SEC season. And I think he's in the running right now for top player in the league.
It's a great development story, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And a tribute to him. I mean, the guy is an unbelievable worker and such high character.
And in Bruno's senior day too, right?
Yep.
Boy, that seems wild. I feel like we just got to know him. We just tried to get him out on the football field, and now he's wrapped up what was an incredible career in Norman.
Yeah,
still got his work to do, right?
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He's holding down the number 1 double spot with Luis. I think Bruno's played number 1 doubles every single match of his career at Oklahoma. And that's just that's been one of his big roles. And he's also a team captain with Luis. Those guys were voted team captains this year. So they're just a really special group. And both of them, they want to win. They want to leave the place better than they found it, and they want to leave a legacy.
When you have senior leadership like that, and I don't know, I think you have a relatively balanced roster. I mean, only 2 seniors, but you do have a lot of young guys. What is it? I mean, does it make it easier for you as a coach somewhat whenever you have senior? It's not easy to be a coach, but when you have senior leaders like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think every team is different, but this team has a lot of internal accountability, and I think that's a big credit to Luis, who's been here 3.5 years now, and Bruno, who came from junior college, but he won a national championship there and came in with a lot of credibility and was the team captain there. He understood how to be a leader, and so. When you've got leaders in the locker room and they're leading from within, that's what we talk about, lead from within the locker room. And when you've got that, it makes a really special group.
Nick Kroll's our guest. We're talking OU men's tennis. This segment is being brought to you by Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU athletics. Talk to me a little bit about just what you've seen click. This team's been good most of the season. I know you've had some tight matches, but you really found another level here.
Yeah, we started out with Arizona season opener back in January. They were I think 9 or 10 in the country. And I said, I want to challenge our guys from day one, and our guys stepped up that moment. We took down Arizona 4-2. They had beaten us 2 or 3 times in a row coming in, and so it was really good to get over the hump there. I think that match really springboarded us into the season, giving us a lot of confidence. We went out to Cal Berkeley when they were 14, and we knocked them off, which was another good win. And so I think we've just been building. We had a couple tough losses kind of at the beginning of the SEC season, but I think our guys really grew from those matches. They learned a lot, and then I really feel like what kind of springboarded us into the season was that win in Austin against Texas. We went down there, we won the doubles point, and got the 4-1 win in Austin, and from that moment, our guys have really been clicking.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that when we come back. This segment, by the way, is being brought to you by Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. You're tuned into The Huddle. We're live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. More men's tennis talk with Coach Kroll next inside The Huddle.
The Huddle is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Trails Golf Club of Norman, where members become family. Inquire today at trailsgolf.com. OU's 2025-2026 women's basketball games are available on Ritmo 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 15-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show.
Welcome back inside The Huddle. Our final segment, we're going to hang out with Nick Kroll, OU men's tennis coach, and it's brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. I just said, look at that great moment. We didn't really go too in-depth on in our first segment about just how huge that was, Nick, for this team to extend the winning streak to 6, to win in dramatic fashion, and doing it over a top 10 team. I mean, that's a pretty special moment. On senior day, too? Oh, come on now.
Yeah, that was storybook. That was storybook stuff there. Oscar came down to Oscar's court there at the end. We had 2 matches left on. Luis was kind of deep in the third, and Oscar's guy forced it to a tiebreaker. And Oscar had a couple match points at 6-4 in the second set breaker. The guy got it back to 6-all, and then Oscar stepped up and won the next 2 points of the match, and then you kind of saw the victory celebration.
That was awesome. I could watch that nonstop. This is a great run that you guys are in the midst of. We're heading down the home stretch, as we mentioned, Arkansas A&M in the SEC tournament. But before we dive into that road ahead, you've had some guys that have really stepped up because you've had some injuries, you've had to mix some things around. What has that challenge been like for you and your staff to find the best matchups for your doubles and then obviously keep the best crew out there you can?
Yeah, that's kind of the challenge that we're facing week to week, and there's been some little injuries that have come up. We had a guy go down in doubles, and then we kind of had to juggle our doubles around, and we switched our number 1 doubles team about midway through the season, and they caught fire, and now they're 6 in the country in doubles. Bruno and Luis together, the two senior captains. And then Alejandro Malero and Hank Tronson had a great run. And then in the middle of a match, Hank landed funny on his foot and kind of hurt his leg a little bit. Fortunately, he was able to finish that match and got the victory for us against Alabama. Got the doubles point. We went on to win, but then he's been out ever since. And then kind of had to juggle that. And then we've been working on kind of finding that third doubles pair. Kind of switched a couple guys in and out, and then here recently, Johan Rodriguez and Asahi Hirazaki, they've kind of taken over that spot, 5-1 in their last 6 matches.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit more about Oscar Lasitas and what he's done. You mentioned the clinching win over Mississippi State on Saturday, but pretty consistent piece for you guys this year?
Yeah, really consistent. He's really come on here of late. He clinched the match against Texas down in Austin, and was a really big moment for the program and for him. But I think for him, you could see the relief on his face when he got that match done. There's some great photos of that moment, and just the elation and the celebration there of getting that win down there in Austin was big. They were number 2 in the country at the time, and then they won the national indoors. So, for us to go down there and get that win was big, and it kind of propelled us to where we are right now.
Nick, take me through Johan Rodriguez and what you've seen from him recently. I mean, he's playing with number 3 for you in singles right now?
Yeah, he's played number 3-4. He's had a great season so far. He was touted as the number 2 freshman in the country coming in, and he's won the SEC Freshman of the Week 3 weeks in a row. I'm hoping he gets it for a 4th week this week. He won again against a really good player at number 3, Mississippi State. But no, he's been super consistent. He's had to learn a lot very quickly. Came in from Colombia, South America, and because of visa issues in the fall, he got here a little bit late, and so he missed some critical moments in the preseason. But he's caught on quick. He's a great player.
And then we were talking about with Audra, we talk about it with you, kind of a cultural melting pot, because you have Asahi, who's been he played 6th for you against Mississippi State.
Yep.
He's been pretty consistently there, and we've seen his growth.
Yeah, Asahi's probably one of our most improved players over the last year and a half. He really puts in the work. Played a lot of tournaments outside of the school year in the summer and in the fall, and he's just really come on. He started as a pretty good doubles player for us early on in his career, but now he's just really improved, and he's an everyday starter for us the whole season.
Hey, let's take a look at the road ahead, brought to you by One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties, Fan Field, Athlete Focus. And, I've kind of danced around it a little bit, but, yeah, it's pretty challenging. Heading down the home stretch to go from Arkansas. And then, do you get to stay in College Station?
Well,
okay.
It's a little bit dicey on that travel because we're going to play Sunday, and then we don't exactly know when we're going to play in the SEC Championship yet. We could play Thursday or we could play Friday. But because we're leaving for Arkansas on Wednesday, if we end up staying down in College Station, we could almost be gone almost 12, 13 days.
Wow.
So it's a long trip that way, and so we're going to probably try to come back for at least 2 days and then get back up to the SEC Championships.
Give me a snapshot. What's the challenge like first going to Fayetteville? What is Arkansas?
Yeah, Arkansas is always a very tough team, tough place to play. They're very well coached, and so we're expecting a big challenge over there Friday night at 5:30, and then like I said, with that travel in the SEC, we'll get up Saturday morning and we'll take a flight down to College Station, practice over there, and then get ready to play. I think A&M's 10 in the country right now.
Wow. And then I guess finally on that, since you're going there and they're hosting the SEC, facilities, what's it like? What's A&M got down at College Station?
Yeah, they've got 12 outdoor courts.
Wow.
They don't have any indoor courts, and so if there's rain, that could be an issue. I think they'd probably have to move the tournament down to Houston, find some indoor courts, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that it's good weather.
And Nick, before I let you go, just kind of a final thought on the team and the run this year. How have you seen this team persevere and work through the challenges of maybe not a start like you wanted, some tough losses?
Yeah, we had some tough losses in the middle of the season. We had some really big wins early on, and to me it's all about growth. We've just talked about being better than we were the day before, and if we can do that, we know at the end of the season we're going to be playing our best tennis. And we've just tried to make it very simple for our guys. They just need to be a few points better than the guy across the net. That's it. Just worry about being better than one guy. If you can do that, and all 9 guys do it for the 3 doubles points, the 6 singles points, we know we can get 4 every time.
And just for people that aren't familiar, the path is very similar to other sports. SEC tournament, NCAA tournament selection show, and then round of 16, Elite 8 to the Final Four, right?
That's right. They have 16 host sites for the round of 64, and so the top 16 teams will host. We're hoping to continue to position ourselves to bid and get a host for our regional.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. You're the man.
Appreciate you.
Nick Crow, we'll put a wrap on the Huddle next. Stick around.
The Huddle is brought to you by Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either Sirius XM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free.
Man, thanks to Audra Cohen and Nick Kroll for joining us inside the Huddle. Also, thanks to the Trails Golf Club. Final segment brought to you by the Trails, where members become family. Inquire today at trailsgolf.com. The fun is just getting started here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, because Gabe Eichert and Teddy Lehman are standing by. We're going to have a full hour of nonstop OU spring football talk to get you ready for the spring game. Great job by our producer, Shansley Glenn. You crushed it, Shansley. Stick around. Senior Sports Talk is next.
Live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, the Air Comfort Solutions OU Huddle has been presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by Walden Cleaners, Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.